What if you suddenly forgot your own name? Panic, cold sweat, and a world that suddenly became unfamiliar. Scary, right? Unfortunately, many don't even realize that their memory is already on the verge of this nightmare. It turns out that 80% of people who come to a clinic with suspected dementia actually suffer from completely different conditions. But don't be afraid. I will tell you how to get back what is gradually slipping away unnoticed. What if one day you wake up and find that you've forgotten your own name? Forgotten the faces of your closest loved ones, forgotten your home, and all the moments that once defined your life. How would you react? Panic, horror, or perhaps a closed-off world where you no longer know who you really are? This situation is not fictional. It's a real threat that can catch up with us much sooner than we think. But the most alarming part is that people don't even suspect that their memory is already under serious threat. We are used to thinking that memory deterioration is something inevitable that comes with age. However, this is a misconception, and the consequences can be devastating. Many of us don't notice how we start losing the most important pieces of our lives. Did you know that 80% of people who visit the clinic with suspected dementia actually suffer from completely different diseases? They are experiencing memory exacerbation, but they don't understand that it's not the beginning of senile dementia, but rather a signal that something is happening in their body that they are ignoring. In their cases, memory is not lost because of age, but because of factors they simply don't pay attention to. This is a real mystery hidden from most people. They fear that one day they will forget themselves, but they don't even know that this can happen much sooner than they could ever imagine. How can you recognize that your body and brain are starting to lose control of your memory? You need to understand this before it's too late. When I personally faced the problem of memory deterioration, when my own father started forgetting his name, it completely changed my perception of medicine. We, doctors, often solve problems with medications and procedures, but when I encountered this personally, I realized that other approaches had to be explored. The diagnosis was early-stage dementia. But I couldn't accept this diagnosis, especially when it came to my father. I knew I had to find a solution. At that point, I reconsidered everything I knew about medicine and aging, every aspect of his life, diet, and habits. And I discovered something that could change everything. It's not just age, it's not only genetics. Memory problems are related to many factors we don't even suspect. What at first glance seems like simple moments in life may actually be a hidden enemy of memory. Stress, poor sleep routines, and unhealthy food. These factors gradually destroy your ability to retain information. But what if I told you that many of these problems can be solved with simple actions? Many people don't even realize that their habits, such as constant stress, lack of sleep, and poor diet, are gradually undermining their memory. And the most surprising thing is that it can be corrected with simple steps available to everyone. Think about it. Isn't it scary that memory deterioration is often perceived as a normal phenomenon, something that can't be changed? All those forgotten names, important meetings, and little things that once mattered but are suddenly lost. This is not normal. It's a signal you shouldn't ignore. Aging should not be a sentence for your memory. Don't let yourself become part of the statistics. Take a step toward realizing that memory can be regained by understanding its true nature and working on its restoration. Start now, before it's too late. Throughout these years in practice, I not only treated patients but also looked for alternative approaches to memory restoration. And after decades of work, I made an important discovery. The true cause of memory deterioration is not always hidden in the brain. It may be related to other processes in the body. And surprisingly, restoring memory only requires 5 minutes a day. Throughout my career, I have observed those who restored their memory with simple but effective methods. These methods didn't require expensive medications or complex procedures. All it takes is attention to your body, brain, and daily habits. and I'm ready to share this knowledge with you. So how can you not miss your chance to regain your memory? The first thing I want you to remember is that this is not a case where you should delay the solution until tomorrow. Memory loss can be gradual and subtle, but it poses a real threat. If you act now, you can avoid the same problems many of my patients face. Today, you'll receive real methods that will help you restore memory and take back control. And most importantly, these methods don't require time for long procedures. Just a few minutes a day is enough to begin the journey to restore your memory. A month ago, Elena Kim, 70 years old, came to me. Her memory was fading every day, and she couldn't manage simple tasks. After 2 weeks of using the method I'll share with you today, she remembered even the names of her classmates. How is this possible? The secret is that the real memory problem is often hidden in other parts of the body, not in the brain. When you go to sleep, what happens to your brain? You might think that it's time for rest, and memory is something that only happens during the day. But did you know that nighttime sleep is actually the most important moment for your memory? During sleep, your brain works more actively than you might imagine. Here's a shocking fact. One night of insomnia or lack of sleep can reduce your ability to remember information by a whole 40%. This is not an exaggeration. It's scientifically proven. And this means that every time you don't get enough sleep or have poor quality rest, you're actually putting your memory at serious risk. Think about it. Maybe your forgetfulness is not just a sign of age, but a result of chronic sleep deprivation? Have you ever wondered what happens in your brain during sleep? Your brain doesn't just rest. In fact, the most important work happens at night, processing and consolidating new memories. Your hippocampus, the center of memory, is actively working, converting short-term information into long-term memory. But for this to happen, your brain must pass through two crucial sleep phases: rapid eye movement, REM sleep, and deep slow-wave sleep, delta sleep. But here's the problem. Today, most people hardly reach these sleep phases. Remember how often you wake up in the morning still feeling tired, even if you've slept 7 and 8 hours? That means your sleep quality is far from ideal. Recent studies show that only 2 out of 10 people who sleep for 8 hours actually spend enough time in the deep sleep phases needed for memory restoration. Our nighttime habits directly affect how well we sleep. The hours spent in front of screens on phones, tablets, and TVs are one of the biggest threats to normal sleep. The blue light emitted by these devices disrupts melatonin production, the hormone that regulates the sleep-wake cycle. This means that if you use gadgets before bed, you are literally killing your sleep quality and putting your memory at risk. Think about it. When was the last time you rested without screens for at least 30 minutes before bed? If you don't pay attention to this regularly, it may be the reason for your memory problems. Once, Professor Ivanov, a renowned physicist and lecturer at Moscow State University, came to me. He was elderly and complained that he was constantly forgetting important formulas and terms that he had always known by heart. It was surprising because he was an outstanding specialist, but his memory had started to fail. I suggested doing a small checkup and first looked at his sleep routine. It turned out that despite going to bed on time, his brain didn't enter deep sleep. The reason was simple. Before bed, he was constantly using his tablet and watching the news. When I suggested that he stop using gadgets at least 2 hours before bed and add a warm foot bath, his condition significantly improved. 2 weeks later, the professor noticed that his memory was returning. He was able to recall forgotten formulas and even improved his work efficiency. But most importantly, his brain started functioning like it used to, and his memory stopped failing him. If you want your brain to recover, you need to change your sleep habits. Here are a few simple steps that will help you start restoring your memory through sleep. Stop using screens. Start avoiding any devices that emit blue light 2 to 3 hours before sleep. You can use special glasses or turn on the blue light filtering mode on your devices, but the best option is to avoid gadgets altogether. Warm foot bath. Take a warm foot bath with a temperature of 37-40 degrees Celsius, 30 minutes before sleep. This improves circulation and prepares your body for deep sleep. Sleep planning. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. Your brain loves rhythm, and this helps improve sleep quality. Many people think they can restore their memory and mental abilities in a short time. But sleep loss and memory quality don't get restored instantly. If you haven't been getting enough deep sleep for a long time, your hippocampus, the memory center, will gradually lose its ability to process and store information effectively. This can lead to long-term memory problems and even more serious cognitive disorders. Memory problems may start with simple forgetfulness and increase to the point where you forget important events or meetings. Therefore, sleep plays a key role in your cognitive health, and if you want to restore your memory, it's where you should start. Restoring memory through quality sleep is not just a theory. It's a proven fact, backed by dozens of studies. If you want to regain your memory, start by restoring a normal sleep schedule. When you start sleeping properly, your brain will restore lost memories, and every day will become clearer and brighter. The secret is to create conditions for sleep that help your brain fully recover. Spend more time outdoors, pay attention to your nutrition, and make sure you get quality sleep. These steps will not only improve memory, but also significantly enhance your quality of life. What if I told you that what you eat every day could be the cause of your forgetfulness? Sounds incredible? But it's a fact. We all tend to think that our brain works independently of what we eat. But in reality, nutrition has a huge impact on our memory and mental abilities. Processed foods, sugar, white flour, and trans fats are the enemies of memory we don't think about. They gradually, but continuously, destroy neural connections and slow down brain function. Imagine that every morning starts with a cup of sweet coffee and a pastry. These foods don't provide your brain with the nutrients it needs to work. Instead of building new neural connections, you're just destroying the existing ones. The problem is that these foods not only slowly destroy memory but also accelerate brain aging. Studies show that a diet high in sugar and fats increases the risk of developing diseases like Alzheimer's by 89%. Scary? Then it's time to understand what we're really eating. Sugar isn't just an extra source of calories. It's a real threat to our brain. When we eat foods high in sugar, our insulin levels spike, which disrupts the function of the hippocampus, the area of the brain responsible for memory and learning. This is not a metaphor. This is a real threat affecting our brain. Research shows that regular sugar consumption lowers levels of brain neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which are responsible for emotional states and cognitive functions. When you eat sugar, you're not just damaging your memory, but also your mood and concentration. Moreover, sugar causes inflammation in the body, which negatively impacts the nervous system. Sugar actively affects metabolic processes in brain cells, impairing its ability to recover and regenerate. Trans fats, found in margarine, processed foods, and fast food, are another hidden threat to our memory. These substances not only worsen blood supply to the brain, but also disrupt the transmission of neural signals. As a result, the brain receives less oxygen and nutrients, leading to a decline in cognitive functions. Many of us are used to snacking on fast food or consuming products containing trans fats without realizing the damage they are doing to our brains. These substances prevent the normal functioning of brain cells and slow down memory and thinking processes. One striking example is a woman named Marina Klimova, a top manager at a large company. She came to me in tears because at an important meeting, she couldn't recall a project she had been working on for months. She had no idea what was happening, and doctors couldn't find a physical cause for her problem. When I asked what she ate every day, her answer was predictable: coffee and a sweet pastry for breakfast, fast food for lunch and dinner. We completely changed her diet by eliminating processed foods, and the result was astonishing. 2 weeks later, Marina remembered the project and even began recalling events she thought she had forgotten 20 years ago. What should you eat to restore memory and keep your brain in top shape? The answer is simple: omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, curcumin, and vitamins. These substances not only protect the brain from aging, but also promote its recovery. Omega-3 fatty acids, found in fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, herring, are essential for neural membranes. Without them, the brain literally starts to rust. Add nuts and flax seeds to your diet to provide your brain with the necessary fatty acids. Antioxidants like anthocyanins found in black currants, blueberries, and blackberries protect the brain from oxidative stress and slow down hippocampus aging. You can start your day with a handful of these berries. It's not only tasty, but also beneficial for the brain. Curcumin, found in turmeric, is a powerful antioxidant. It clears toxins from the brain and stimulates the growth of new neurons. Regular turmeric consumption can improve memory by 43%. Egg yolks are another important food. They contain choline, which is necessary for the synthesis of acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter responsible for memory. Don't forget about green leafy vegetables like spinach and broccoli, which are sources of magnesium and folic acid, necessary for the proper functioning of the nervous system. Don't think that restoring memory requires complicated diets or expensive supplements. It's much simpler than you think. Include fish, nuts, berries, turmeric, and greens in your diet, and in just a few weeks, you'll notice improvement. Make your breakfast the foundation of brain activity. An omelet with nuts and avocado. Add some berries and greens, and you'll give your brain a boost for the whole day. Replace sweet snacks with healthy options like nuts, seeds, or yogurt with berries. These small changes in your diet will significantly improve your memory and support your cognitive functions at a high level. Now let's talk about what to exclude from your diet to avoid destroying your memory. First and foremost, sugar, white flour, processed foods, and fast food. These products destroy neural connections, slow down brain function, and worsen memory. Remember, you don't have to give up food. You just have to consciously choose what's good for your brain. By simply replacing sweet desserts with natural foods like berries or nuts, you've already taken a huge step toward improving memory. Memory restoration isn't a quick process, but proper nutrition is one of the most powerful tools. If you start today, you'll feel improvements within a week. Your brain will work faster, your memory will be sharper, and your concentration will improve. Remember, your brain is what you eat, and taking care of it is just as important as taking care of your body. Have you ever wondered why physical activity is so important for brain function? It's not just a side effect of good physical fitness. In fact, movement is one of the most powerful means of restoring and improving memory. But how is this possible? How does movement help the brain? The answer lies in the fact that our brain depends on circulation, oxygen, and energy, which we get through physical activity. When we move, our muscles activate blood circulation, which in turn improves the supply of nutrients and oxygen to the brain. It's like fueling an engine. The more fuel, the faster and more efficiently the car works. The brain is activated through movement, especially when it involves coordination and complex tasks. That's why simple exercises that activate both sides of the brain can significantly improve memory and concentration. But what are these exercises that can so powerfully influence memory? Let me tell you about a method that will change your perception of memory restoration through movement. This method is called cross-body stimulation. I've been using it in my practice for over 30 years and have achieved stunning results with my patients. Cross-body exercises are when you perform movements that activate both sides of your body simultaneously, engaging both hemispheres of the brain. This could be something simple. Standing, raise your right elbow and touch your left knee, then switch sides. Or reach your left hand to your right ear and your right hand to your left nostril. It sounds simple, but it actually requires concentration and activates neural circuits that connect different parts of the brain. When you perform these simple exercises, your neural connections become stronger. It's not just a physical workout, it's a workout for your brain. It's scientifically proven that these exercises activate the hippocampus, the area of the brain responsible for memory. Imagine that each movement makes your brain more flexible and your memory sharper. One of the most striking examples of how cross-body stimulation can change lives is the story of Alexei Zhukov. He was 70 years old when he came to me with the problem. He couldn't remember his home address or even his phone number. It was scary. He got lost in his own city and didn't know how to get home. Alexei was confused, and doctors diagnosed him with mild cognitive impairment, early signs of dementia. His memory was quickly deteriorating, and he felt like he was losing himself. But I suggested that he start doing cross-body exercises. He was skeptical, but agreed to try. 3 weeks later, Alexei stopped getting confused in space, began reading technical literature again, and completely stopped taking medication. His family said he became like his old self, clear, lively, and active. He felt confident again, just like before. It was a real breakthrough, showing how simple movement can restore lost memory. Many people think that memory restoration requires only intellectual effort or special brain exercises. But in reality, to make memory sharper, you need to activate all neural networks, and for that, you need to engage not only mental, but also physical abilities. Studies show that regular cross-body exercises can increase neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new neural connections. MRI studies confirmed that patients who perform these exercises show a 2.6% increase in hippocampal volume after 2 months. This is a revolutionary discovery because it was previously thought that the hippocampus only decreases with age. Surprisingly, just a month of regular exercises will help you notice improvements. Memory will become clearer, concentration will increase, and clarity of thought will return. This is all possible thanks to the active stimulation of the brain through movement. Now, let's talk about how to incorporate these simple yet effective exercises into your daily life. You don't need to go to the gym or use equipment. All you need is 5 minutes a day to start restoring your memory. You can do all these exercises right at home without leaving the room. Raise your right elbow to your left knee and vice versa. Repeat for 1 to 2 minutes at a slow pace. This exercise activates both sides of the brain, improves coordination and memory. Reach your left hand to your right ear and your right hand to your left nostril. Switch hands and repeat quickly. This exercise helps develop brain flexibility and accelerates neural signal transmission. Finger gymnastics. A simple exercise where you alternate connecting your thumb with each of your other fingers. Do this for 1 to 2 minutes with both hands. This activates the motor and sensory areas of the brain. Many people who start doing cross-body stimulation notice improvements within a few days. However, to achieve maximum results, you need to do these exercises every day. Consistency is the key to success. Don't forget to do them in the morning as soon as you wake up or in the evening before bed. If you don't do the exercises every day, your brain won't get enough stimulation, and improvements may not happen. But if you follow these simple steps every day, in just a month you'll feel how your memory sharpens, concentration strengthens, and your thought processes speed up. A simple movement that takes just 5 minutes a day can become the investment in your future that you didn't realize until now. Each movement activates hidden brain areas, improves circulation, and provides oxygen to the brain. These simple exercises not only help restore memory, but also make you feel more energetic and active. Don't let time pass by without engaging your potential. Start doing cross-body stimulation today, and you'll feel your brain start working at full capacity. And that's not all. Along with improving memory, your coordination, attention, and thinking speed will also get a powerful boost. Each of us faces stress, but few realize how it affects our brain. When stress becomes chronic, it begins to destroy the hippocampus, the area responsible for memory. How often do we face moments when we feel like we've reached our limits, when we no longer believe in change, when we're not sure we can get back what we've lost? This feeling is familiar to many of us. We don't realize that memory restoration is a process we can control if we set up our lives and actions correctly. When we begin our journey of memory restoration, it's important to remember that it's not an instant result. Restoration requires sequential steps and patience, but in this process lies the real success. It's not magic, not witchcraft, but scientifically backed methods that work every day. In this chapter, I will reveal to you several principles that will help you complete this journey. These are not just theoretical concepts, but real actions that can bring back your memory, clarity of thought, and energy. The path to recovery starts with small steps, but each of them is an important contribution to your future. You may feel that improvements are already on the horizon, But how can you know that you've really restored your memory? The answer is simple: tracking your results and regularly working on them. The first changes might be barely noticeable. You suddenly remembered the name of an old acquaintance or didn't forget an important meeting. But these small steps are already big victories. For the results to be sustainable, it's important not to stop once you've made progress. Memory restoration is not a final goal, but a process that requires constant attention and effort. Make these practices part of your life. Just 5 to 10 minutes a day is enough to keep your brain in great shape. One of the most important moments in this process is consistency. Often when we don't see instant changes, we lose motivation. Don't be afraid of small steps. They lead to big results. Think about it. What if you continued doing exercises for 5 minutes a day, changing your diet and sleep habits? In a month, you'll feel how your brain starts working in a new way. If you ever doubted your abilities, know that it's okay. Everyone who goes through memory restoration faces doubts and disappointments. Sometimes we feel like we don't see progress, that everything stays the same. But in those moments, it's important to remember that the restoration process takes time. Doubts often make us give up on our goals, but it's important to remember that any journey requires effort. Be patient with yourself and don't expect immediate results. If you keep following these principles, your efforts will definitely pay off. For example, think about how you started reading this book or watching this video. At first it might have seemed difficult, but now you see how much has changed. The same applies to memory restoration. You just have to keep moving forward. The psychological aspect of memory restoration is just as important as physical activity or proper nutrition. Have you ever wondered how important your thoughts are? When you tell yourself, "I can't remember this," you're already limiting your possibilities. In reality, your brain is a powerful system that depends on your attitude toward yourself and the world around you. Studies show that confidence directly affects your ability to remember and retrieve lost information. The more positively you think, the easier it will be for you to perceive and remember new information. Work on your psycho-emotional stability. Don't dwell on failures and difficulties, and your brain will work at full capacity. Motivation is the fuel that powers your memory restoration journey. Without it, even the most effective methods will have minimal effect. So how do you find this motivation? The simple solution is to set small goals and celebrate every little success. Memory restoration is not a grand victory in one day. It's a series of small steps that together create huge progress. An important moment is rewarding yourself for your efforts. When you reach a new level of improving your memory, it's time to celebrate it. Acknowledging your achievements helps maintain motivation and keep moving forward. Remember that even small victories are important steps toward restoration. Today, there are many innovative technologies that can help you improve memory. These include neurotraining, brain stimulation, and even memory training apps that are available to everyone. However, despite technological advancements, it's important to understand that they should be a supplement, not the main part of the restoration process. It's your daily habits, sleep, nutrition, physical activity, and mental exercises that create the foundation for successful memory restoration. Modern devices and apps can be useful, but they won't replace a healthy lifestyle. When you use technology, remember that your brain needs not just stimulation, but also rest, recovery, and nutrients. When you go through memory restoration, it's important to understand that it's not just about improving the ability to remember. It's the beginning of a new life. Every step you take brings you back to yourself, helps unlock new possibilities, and gives you the strength for further success. Support your brain with proper nutrition, exercise, psychological adjustment, and technology. Make it your new habit and you'll feel your life change. Don't stop at what you've achieved. Your memory is the key to your intellect, your life, and your future. From now on, your new chapter begins. Set a goal and take it step by step. The power is in you. Now that you know the key methods for memory restoration, let's go back to what you can do right now. Start by improving sleep, nutrition, and physical activity. I'll show you how to make these steps part of your day without overwhelming it. What if I told you that you can get your memory back? Start a new path to restoration today and feel the first changes in a few weeks. These methods are not magic. They are a science-backed reality. They don't require pills or complex procedures, just your effort and a few minutes a day. Subscribe to our channel, give a like, and be sure to share your results. Memory is what makes us who we are. From this day on, start restoring it.